Good morning. Welcome to TERRA at Home. Well, we are just literally a week away from summer, less than a week away from summer starting. And I'm here. I thought this would be a really good idea to talk about Sunveil Sunwear products. We're here with the president of the company, Chris Carnevale. Thank you so much for letting us come to your space here in Oakville. Now, this is your head office.
Thank you, and smart of TERRA to know the importance of sun protection.
Yes.
And we're finding that, I mean, it's been 25 years plus. We're going into our 26th season doing this. We're the oldest company in the world doing this, and it's a Canadian company.
That's what we love.
Which is something rare these days, that we're actually manufacturing in Canada.
In Canada. No, that is rare. And people are, some people who have gone the other way are trying to bring that back. It's
and we're actually shipping to
overseas, everywhere.
Overseas, Japan, China, Hong Kong, Australia. So it's kind of gathered steam, and we find it as a seasonal product too. It's becoming more and more all year.
Okay.
Because people are starting to think about it, especially when they go away.
Now that's the thing, you've been with the company long enough to know there's probably been some changes over the years. You've really seen, you know, before a lot of people were sun worshippers, and now... That
is the other interesting conundrum and the shift. There could be many reasons for it, of course, with health, the Health Canada and the health, I mean, just the media is caught up to the times, the changing times. The market is changing, the people, the ages are changing. That it used to be the older people that were having the issues with the skin.
Right.
Now it's the young people. And we're hearing, I mean, even with the tanning salons, it's kind of being a little, it's a bit more controversial now.
Yes.
But the change also has been helped perhaps with the Hollywood influence. Maybe it's a good thing. A lot of the celebrities are now preferring to look pale, and you know you're going to look younger longer if you stay out of the sun. I mean, we know that now. So that's probably it's a health issue, and it could fall into vanity. You want to stay looking young longer, avoid the surgeon, cover up.
Yeah,
and that's
there's
the
a
answer.
combination
and it's
of
free,
all that,
you
right?
know, you know, you invest in the clothing, and it stays with you. And the clothing itself, instead of the cream, and was invented as an alternative to the lotions originally, because people are constantly slathering on. You clock it, you take it off, you got to put it on again. You got to keep putting it on. This is a one-off. You put it on, you leave it on, and then you're covered and protected. And
so tell me about the material itself. So if people were wondering exactly what, you know, your clothing, your hats, these items, what is the material? How does it feel? What is it like?
There's two lines. We have, and it's proprietary to us. Nobody else can get this cloth. It's made for us. Okay. And the fabric, it's they're using a polyester resin, and they're adding ingredients to it that have the UV properties. So it's not a coating, it's not a spray. It's in there, and it's permanent. So it's added to the mix, and then they spin it, and you've got something that lasts. We've had customers coming in here 15 years later saying, should I, you know, get something new?
That's the thing that's good for you,
it lasts forever.
That having the company being around for 25 years, now you were able to say to your customers, new customers, we know this stuff lasts.
We know this stuff.
We know that you can wash it.
It's certainly become somewhat of a venerable product. It's been around for so long, and it's got a reputation. And it's also become something of a club, I think, from some of the little anecdotal stories we get from our customers. We've been to the Great Wall of China, and we saw some people wearing Sunveil. Cool. It's like it becomes like a little group, and you get stories. And also, because it's so distinct, I mean, people know it from 500 feet away. They recognize it, and they'll go, "Where did you get that?" You know, we've had some new customers just from the label. You know, like they'll call us. It's got the toll-free number there, all the information.
Yeah, it's easy to find you guys. That's the thing, because we're being again at your head office in Oakville, but you have distributors all over the place. You have little stores that people, you know, like they'll carry some of your line.
Yes.
So that's helpful too for people to find.
That's right.
Now,
and many niche groups as well.
Sure.
Many the stores fall into different categories. You've got hiking, you've got boating, you've got golfing, you've got cruise wear, you've got camping, you've got oh my goodness.
Everyone at home's thinking right now, okay,
swimwear,
that applies to me, that applies to me.
Of course, the gardeners have adopted it. It's almost like a new group. Every year you find a new customer base. Also, some of the people with certain skin conditions, lupus, we've been on board with them for 20 years, porphyria. We've got interest from the XP, which is now which is a very rare condition that people can't get any light at all.
Oh, wow.
So there are certain fabrics that we would recommend with really high UV ratings, and these groups find us and adopt our product, which is really nice, and they continue.
That helps, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, why don't we show off a little bit of some of your product? I mean, we've been looking at some of it, but it really, one thing I think is really neat is that you have the kids stuff, right? So you've got...
It's a kids line.
This is great. This is important. People want to protect their kids.
Line. We've got the hats. They've got the veil. This is the new Souvant fabric.
It's cute.
And believe it or not, we've had questions with the colors. Which color protects more? Interestingly enough, blue was being pushed as the highest UV protection. The red actually blocks out just by the spectrum.
Yep.
The red has a really high rating. I mean, the maximum rating allowed in North America, the rating standards, they call it UPF 50 plus.
Right.
But the numbers could be much higher than that. Like a red is 200 actually of the block. But there's 30. I think the standard for sun protection is 30. 40, 50.
Yeah. Okay.
And those are the numbers. And they've got the little Velcro there that can
That's
attach.
what's great, though, right? And the little
cute
jackets.
Little kid's jacket there.
And so basically, you carry for the line you carry jackets, hats, pants. You can cover somebody fully if you need to.
The only thing we don't have yet, and we've had inquiries of feet covers. We've had people who want to walk on the beach, and I'm trying to figure out some kind of a spat or something, but
Well, I mean...
I don't know. I mean, we'd end up looking like a mummy.
Yeah.
But is that the new thing?
I guess that's the thing. I mean, we're talking, people really want to protect, right? So, I mean, there's so many... You guys have so many options. And I guess that's the cool thing is, one thing we need to focus on is that this is very lightweight as well.
It's extremely lightweight.
Because you're wearing it in the heat.
It actually, it's only ounces. I mean, we have what I call the lightest hat in the world. It's only 2 ounces.
Wow.
And... I'm not sure, here's one here. It weighs 2 ounces and it's crushable, packable, foldable. Perfect. You can just roll them up and put them in your back pocket. The golfers love them. And they wash and wear beautifully. They pack like there's nothing. And when you take them out or whatever, you just pop them on and
easy to go and
roll
good
them
to
up
go.
and yeah,
that's
they're
great.
Incredible. There's nothing lighter than this. It's only 2 ounces.
Cool. So I guess if people are trying to find your products, best thing to go on your website, right?
Website.
And
we have a list. They
Okay.
can do a search of the locations, or they can come here to the Oakville office, the showroom.
Okay.
Sometimes we've got international. You can order online, and you can order just by mail order. The standard we have people that actually answer phones. You don't press 1, press 2, you get a person.
Well, awesome. Well, thank you for letting us come to your space and again, really just show off these cool products and something that we all need.
And smart of TERRA to know.
Of all ages.
This. I mean, it's going to be an important time
absolutely.
with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Chris.
Thank
all right,
you.
more TERRA at Home to come after this break.
Live color fully at TERRA, where color lives.
Heritage Perennials presents TERRA's Perennial Pick of the Week. Unique Lilac is a dwarf astilbe with more flowers per square inch than most other astilbes, and it's ideal for brightening up that shady spot. Heritage Perennials. Look for us in the blue pots.
Scott's EcoSense Path Clear is a fast-acting, effective way to kill grass and weeds on your hard surfaces, like walkways. Scott's EcoSense Path Clear from the makers of Weed Be Gone. Also available with a unique applicator. 1 pull equals 40 trigger sprays.
Welcome back to TERRA at Home. We are now down in Winona. We're at Puddicombe Farms. I'm here with Brock, of course, one of the sons of Brock Puddicombe, and we want to talk a little bit about a really cool product that you unleashed about a year ago almost now, and it's a cider. It's a pear cider that you guys came up with, and your idea actually.
Yeah, it was. I've always been a fan of ciders, and when I went to university, I was touring around the LCBO in the cider section and came across this pear cider, and liked it. A little too sweet for me, but I thought, you know what, why not give it a try? And when the plant closed down in St. David's, I went and did some trial and error. My sister and I went over to Europe, did some sampling over there.
Yeah, some sampling. That's a pretty good gig for a brother and sister to do. That's fun.
Exactly.
So you kind of learned from the business over there, because obviously it's very thriving, particularly over in Britain, and the ciders that we've seen over the years, and ones we're familiar with, in some of the pubs, we're now really starting to see that flux here. We're starting to see people really enjoying ciders locally.
Exactly, and a lot of that has to do with the quality of ciders that are coming out here.
Right.
The Ontario cider market is growing fairly quickly, and more and more people are becoming more acquainted to ciders.
Sure.
A lot of that has to do as well as it's gluten-free. And
that's actually a good valid point. So many people can't consume any gluten, and it just naturally is gluten-free.
Exactly.
Right. Okay.
It's made 100% of fruit base, so there's no malt base in it at all.
Helpful. Now, one thing, we were actually just visiting a little while back, a couple of months ago, with Chris Haworth, the chef from Spencer's in Burlington, and he had a cider event, and again, a bunch of cideries, local cideries that came along, and he paired cider with food throughout the entire evening, which is really kind of neat to see. People are often associating with wine, which of course you guys make here as well, but you can also pair ciders with food.
That's right.
Yeah.
Actually, Sir Issacs goes extremely well with some pulled pork. And so
nice.
It's definitely the drier variety, which is a great compliment.
Now, one thing we should mention as well, of course, that you just had a new affiliation with the Hamilton Tiger Cats, so your cider will be available at the games throughout the season this year, so that's kind of fun.
That's correct.
Yeah, it's cool.
And we're really excited about it, and the Ticats have been great and opening the doors to us, so we're, like I said, really excited.
Well, it's great. Again, going back and talking about the Puddicombe family, so back, you guys, you're 8th generation.
That's correct.
So 1797, this family's been around, again, farming on this land, and of course, again, we talk about the wines. You have how many varieties of fruit and grape wines?
32.
32. I mean, that's
right.
amazing. So people associate that with you guys, of course, and the selling of fruit. It's a great place to come and bring your family. It's just a really good environment. So you thought this was kind of the next thing to do. Like, why not do a cider, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's another way to open the doors to new customers as well.
Sure it is.
Not everyone drinks wine, so it's another way to get our name out there and appeal to that crowd.
Now, this is something, this particular cider being a pear cider, because there are obviously ones that are apple ciders as well, right?
Correct.
How in terms of flavor, do you really find that you taste the pear component in here? Is it very obvious?
Definitely. It has excellent aroma and it has excellent flavor.
Okay.
Both come from different varieties of pears. It is a blend of 100% Ontario, Bartlett, and Bosque, and both of them come together and fit
and it's
perfectly.
Good. It works. Now, and of course, you make it here. It's local, and that's what people love about it.
Exactly.
Hoping that you'll be in the LCBO sooner than later, and that people have access to get it there as well. But of course, you can come here and get it.
That's right.
Or Ticat Games.
Yeah, that's it.
So let's talk a little bit about the process of it. Is it? Making a cider. Obviously, how much different is it than making a wine?
It's a little different in terms of the yeast that you use and the percentage of alcohol.
Okay.
So alcohol for ciders is typically below 7%.
Okay.
And the fermentation process, like I said, you use different yeasts. So that's the sort of difference between a wine and a cider.
Yep.
And of course, a wine is typically a great product. There are fruit wines out there, but they are in higher alcohol.
Okay. So basically, I know that we had talked earlier about the fact that in the fall is when you're pressing, and that's when your process. So it's basically around the same time as when you're pulling in grapes and you're doing that. So it's the same season.
Exactly, and it's It's a good battle between my sister and I for the press area.
Oh, really?
So it's yeah. She usually wins, but
Of course.
yeah, of course. But no, it's basically the same time.
Yeah.
And it lasts for about a month and a half.
Okay, wow,
Yeah.
wow. But you're proud of the product, and it has its own history.
That's right.
And as well, right? So.
Correct.
Yeah.
The history, just in the name itself.
Yeah.
Sir Issacs is named after Sir Isaac Brock, of whom I'm named after. And 2 days after his death, I had a great-great-great-grandfather named Isaac Brock Henry, and I'm the third Brock in the family. So
Isn't that cool?
yeah, it
But
just
that's neat though, right?
Exactly.
And so when you're sitting there coming up with a name for this, it just made sense, right?
That's right.
It was very cool.
And be it the 200-year anniversary, it's perfect.
Oh, you're good. You're on it.
Yeah, I
this
tell
is
ya.
good. This is good marketing. I love it. All right. Well, you know what? I should probably try some of this, right?
Definitely.
Okay. So let's do that. And again, we should also talk about an event that you have coming up next weekend. And it's a big party of ciders and bands and music and fun.
That's right. There's going to be 9 different Ontario ciders companies coming.
Yeah.
And as well as we've got, for live music, we have Doc Walker, Jason Blaine, Terra Home, the Stellas, Marshall Dane, and Lindsay Broughton.
Wow. So great lineup. And explains the kind of the whole scenario.
So the whole atmosphere, because ciders, we're trying to build it in Ontario, it's going to be a farm atmosphere. It's going to be happening right here on the farm.
Yeah.
And it's going to be on the front lawn. There's going to be a big tent, big stage, and it'll just be one big party.
Cool. And then, of course, being able to sample different ciders, including
Exactly.
yours, of course.
That's right.
And, makes it a fun night.
That's right.
Right? Now, how can people get tickets?
You can go online and purchase them at puddicomecider.com.
Okay.
And all the information's on the website as well.
Cool. And that just really kind of helps sort of really kick off summer and really push us through into a great season for drinking cider. So let me try this. And again, what should I be experiencing here? What am I going to like?
So first, put your nose up to it.
Okay.
And you can definitely smell the pear.
Absolutely. Right off the top.
100%.
Yeah.
Now, just take a quick sip.
Good and cold, and that's
Definitely.
good. And you're right, it's not too sweet, so you can definitely do more than one bottle of it, which
And
is
that
ideal.
might be the problem as well. It sneaks up.
Uh-oh. Even though it's lower alcohol content, it still sneaks up.
Well, yeah, it goes down like a pop.
Very good. Well, thanks for letting us hang out with you here, and best of luck to you and your sister on this product. And again, I'm sure there'll be a lot of fans enjoying this at the Cat Games. So.
Yes.
All right.
Hex.
Cheers.
Cheers.
All right. We'll be back with more Terra at Home. That's it for now.
Come and explore the new Terra, where color lives.
You've sat under them and built forts in them. You've swung from them and fell out of them. You've even fallen in love under them. Trees have always held a special place in our hearts and memories. A natural beauty, trees will grow with you and your family and bring color and nature into your world. For your assurance of quality, look for trees and shrubs with the Medallion plant tag. Medallion plants, locally grown, the pride of Niagara.
Good morning. Welcome to Terra at Home. We are back with Chef Rachel now, and we have a fish in the house. And we're making fish. I love fish, though. But again, we're talking about going to your local market or obviously your grocery store and picking up some fresh fish. And what a great treat as we move in towards summer coming very shortly.
Yeah, it's a really nice light dish. It's tilapia, so a nice light white fish. We're going to pair it with a mango salsa.
Great.
So very fresh, some bok choy. And so we can do that up after. We're going to saute the bok choy in a little bit of butter and salt and pepper, and that's it. And then we can talk about the salsa after. But I want to get to the fish. Normally I just buy my fish fillets, but I thought today that we would get a whole fish and show how easy it is to fillet your own fish if if you ever
Yeah,
wanted
because
to.
I would never attempt to do that on my own, but this is good. Lessons.
Yeah. So this is a whole tilapia. Now at the store I did have them clean and scale it. So they make a slit in the bottom and take out everything that's inside there. But that's easy to do if you wanted to do that yourself.
Okay.
And then they take off the fins and scale it. But there are still some scales that are left on there, but they do their best. So basically you start by, the knife is very important. So a fillet knife, nice and sharp. And a fillet knife is very flexible, as you can see, like it bends, and that's what you need to get the most of your fillet, to get as close to the bone as possible and not leave as much meat on there.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
So when you're starting, you want to start by cutting off the head. So just behind the head, and you can kind of feel where the bone is, and you just cut right down. So you can see the scales coming off a little bit.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Okay, so you do that and just get that part out of the way. I can get rid of this now.
Get rid of the fish head.
So it's not
Don't
looking
need him
at
on the
us.
side anymore. He's staring at me anyway.
And then from there, all we're doing is we're taking the fillet off the top and the bottom, as you can see there. So this is a round fish. There's 2 fillets on a round fish. Like I said, one on the top, one on the bottom. That's different than a flat fish, which would have 2 on the top and 2 on the bottom.
Oh, okay.
So you get 4 fillets out of 1 fish.
Okay.
But in this one, there's just 2, as you can see here. So you want to start just above the center bone there. So get your knife in there where it's comfortable. I'm trying to do this so you can see, but at a comfortable pace for me. And so you can feel the bone under the knife. And basically you just want to cut down and just keep cutting in until you've come to the end. So as you can see, you're starting to pull away.
Yeah.
So again, hug the bone, as we call it, and just go straight in there. Get as close to the bone as possible and keep moving like that. So I'm just gonna turn this a bit to be comfortable.
That's the thing,
here.
it's hard enough to do. You've got a big dangerous knife, but you're trying to show everybody else, right? So.
Right, so just the most important thing is, as close to the bone as possible, and just work slowly. So it's starting to come off, as you can see.
It's funny too, if you ever go for sushi and you watch the sushi chefs, and this is all they do all day, right? So they're constantly and you can see that they're just boom, 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 boom. They're just in all different types of fish, and they make it look so easy. But I mean, it really is rather straightforward, though. Once you kind of practice
It does take some practice, for sure. So,
but it's neat though. It's kind of good for people to know, to learn how to do it. And a lot of people love catching their own fish and doing the little pan fry right by the side of the river. So that's always a kind of a cool thing too.
Right. Okay,
Not
so
that
there
you
we go.
catch
We have
tilapia.
we did a good job on the first side, I think. So when you have your fillet there, then you can just kind of clean it up. Take off this part on the bottom. That's just mainly fat. Get rid of any of the scales that are on there. You can trim the tail part if you like. And that's basically how you get a fillet. Now you can also remove the skin if you like. We're going to leave it on today.
Okay.
But to remove the skin, all you do is you need to get a good grab on the tail. And
kind of just
basically you
get
just
back under there again, right?
Yeah.
Slide it right along.
Yeah, just pull it out. So it's really simple. Now, in this case, when you've gone so close to the bone, you might get some bones in there. So you can actually just run your finger down there and feel them. And they stop about 1/4 of the way down. I can only feel a couple. You can see that one sticking right out of the end there.
Yeah.
So what you want to do is get a big pair of, if you're going to be doing this often, invest, they're probably not very expensive, in a pair of a good sturdy kitchen tweezers. And that's all you're going to do to take the bones out.
You can just kind of get in there and pull them out.
Yeah, so.
Challenging little guys.
They are.
Yeah.
So you just run your finger down every bone that you feel, you just pull it out. And it's as simple as that. So you can really impress your guests and tell them that you filleted your own fish.
I think I'd rather have you just come over and do it for me. Oh, look what I did.
So,
get out of here, Rachel.
Yeah.
Kick you out the back door.
I'll do the other fillet after.
Okay.
But it's fairly simple. So we have some nice fillets here. So I'm going to explain to you. I've got dirty hands, so I'm not going to touch anything. But I'm going to explain to you what we're going to do next. I've got some green onions. So I've just sliced them lengthwise. They're they're basically still whole, but you just want to get some nice long thin slices.
Okay.
And we're actually going to place the fish right on top of those.
All right.
So we're going to do these in the oven, and we're just going to place them right on top like this. We can season them after with some salt and pepper and just
So
cook
you've
them on
just
the
done
onion.
parchment paper, no oils or anything right yet?
No, just
right
this
on
for
there.
now.
Okay.
Yep. We can brush a little oil on top with the salt and pepper after.
Sure.
Having the onion under there is just a little extra flavor.
Yeah.
And then you can eat them after if you like if you like your onion.
Okay.
So that's going to go in the oven 350, and they won't take long at all. The way you test is to get a fork and kind of flake it. If it flakes easily with your fork, then then you know it's done. And we're going to serve that with a mango salsa. So I've gotten mango here, a whole mango, and just diced it up. You want your mango to be not too ripe, but not too hard either. You want it to keep its shape and not get
you don't want it all
too
kind of mushy. So this is kept nicely intact.
So we're going to put that in the bowl and combine it with some red onion. Yeah, sure, you can do that.
Go for it.
Thanks.
I'll use this.
So I've got some finely chopped red onion there.
Okay.
If you want to put that in too, we probably don't need to use all of that, just maybe half of it or so.
You're like, don't get too crazy,
That
Leslie.
looks good.
All right.
Some ginger. So this is ginger root, comes like this. So you just take the peel off and chop it up. So put that in.
All of it?
Sure.
Okay. There we go.
Some rice wine vinegar, a little bit of soy sauce, and some green onion, and that'll be our salsa that we can put on top of the freshly cooked fish.
Ooh.
And then I have a fry pan here, so I'm just going to heat up some butter, and we can slightly saute the bok choy and serve that with it as well.
Oh, very nice light dish. Oh, I'm feeling like summer almost. All right, we'll be back with more TERRA at Home. We'll finish up this dish for you.
Live color fully at Terra, where color lives.
AM 900 CHML is giving you more news when you want it most. Non-stop news weekday mornings 5 till 9, weekday afternoons 3 to 6, with weather and traffic on the 9s. Hear about it first from AM 900 CHML, Hamilton's news talk leader.
Welcome back to TERRA at Home. We're back with Chef Rachel. We're finishing up our tilapia that you baked in the oven.
Yes.
Love fish, doesn't take too long, right? Which is nice.
No, 10 minutes or so.
And okay, so you were preparing this bok choy. It's basically what, butter, salt, and pepper?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah, butter,
that's
salt,
what
and
smells
pepper.
so good.
Now, bok choy is something that that needs to be cleaned really well before you prepare it. It's got a lot of dirt in it.
Okay.
So just make sure that you rinse it up.
Yeah, that's true. When you see it all stocked up, right? There's a lot sitting down inside of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's different kinds of bok choy. This is actually Shanghai bok choy. Bok choy is just Chinese cabbage. Yeah. So.
But very good for you.
Yep.
And just another way of adding a different type of vegetable to your life.
Yeah, a little bit of salt and pepper and butter is all I did.
Well, that just makes it taste. Everything tastes good, doesn't it?
Yeah, I guess you don't want to use too much butter if you're trying to be healthy, but a little bit's good for you.
Awesome.
Okay,
that looks good.
And then our fish is done. So, like I said, we can serve it with some of the green onions if we want.
Okay.
I like green onions, so I would personally eat that.
Just a reminder, of course, you can find all of Chef Rachel's recipes on our website, terragreenhouses.com. And of course, you can catch us every Saturday morning at 5:30. And as Rachel finishes this up, of course, right here, you put a little bit of cilantro in here, didn't you?
Yeah, we did.
And we've got this beautiful salsa, and this is a great going into summer dish. Next time we see you, it will be summer. Yay! Happy Father's Day weekend. We'll be seeing you again.